This is the TransArt's Transmetal Rattrap.
I hate rats. They make me crazy.
Or the actual name, which is a BWM07B Metal Mouse Bandit. But this is Rattrap.
I'm gorgeous.
Thank you to the Shozy store for sending this to me. A quick look at the packaging. I think it's done incredibly well. I love this style of artwork they have. Top is pretty basic. The back looking really cool in his alt mode. And then nothing too much on the sides, really. Now this figure looks absolutely phenomenal. And I did accidentally cut myself when trying to open it. I'm an idiot. Now right away, we'll notice the color scheme is different from what Transmetal Rattrap should be.
With my gearbox hanging out or something?
They do have a more accurate color scheme, but this is the one I was sent, and it's pretty much all the same.
Who died of me? Jules Prime.
Shut up, Rattrap.
All right, fine. I'm shutting up.
All the little detail on this section over here looks really great. It's a nice color of green. His entire head looks absolutely phenomenal, and the sculpt is very animation accurate. These two rat heads are done really well. However, they don't appear in the actual beast mode. For that, there's an even bigger rat head hiding in between the figure. Further down to the chest and abdomen, the way it's sculpted is done really well. The way they replicated, I guess, the texture on his skin is also done pretty well. I love the paint job on here and how it gradients out to the yellow. You can tell a lot of love and care was put into this figure.
We're all gonna die.
His arms also have that nice little texture over here that looks great. The rest of the arms are pretty simple. If you open this up, you do get that... No, that wasn't supposed to happen. You get this thing that was used against Waspinator, and this is sculpted really well, and he does have it on this side as well, as you can see over here. You're not gonna fall out this time. The figure fell though. I'm sorry, it's like 1:36 a.m. right now. Back up to the chest section, this area is done incredibly well, and I love the green on it. The crotch piece is also done really well. You can see some of the nice little textures going on and some of the rivets throughout the crotch piece. Some more of that nice texture on throughout the legs. These parts of the knees are metal, and the rest of the legs are looking really well with that nice bit of orange going throughout it. And a closer look at the rest of the feet. Turning over to the back, we'll notice he has a huge backpack and a lot of back kibble, but that is accurate to the show, so no complaints there. And surprisingly, even though this figure is back heavy, you still can kind of get him to stand if you lean him forward a little bit. However, I still prefer to use the included stand. It's pretty easy to put together, and that's the wrong way. It's pretty easy to put together, and this metal piece is not edible. Trust me, I tried, the doctors weren't happy. Attaching it is fairly simple, and this piece is used to recreate this, but I don't have that figure, so we're gonna do this instead. In terms of accessories, both of these can come out to be his shield. There's a little tab over here, and we can take that out, and we grab this. We'll take this and put it here, close that up, and there we go. It is very shiny and metallic. I didn't mean to do that, but let's take a better look at this anyway. It is done really well. I like the blue and the greens going on throughout it. The material seems pretty solid, not super flimsy. I will say that these wheels do feel kind of flimsy. The plastic on this just doesn't seem too great. Also, the wheels can spin. And by the way, to put these back on, we just put it on like so, and then just get this on there. And it's kind of hard to line this up when you can't see it. There we go. Now I do have not the original figure, but the 10th anniversary re-release of the original figure, so I will be doing a comparison of that. And also, I just realized that even though it says 1997, that doesn't actually mean this figure was released around that time, so that is kind of confusing. And it would be totally funny if somebody saw the date on one of their Transformers figures and thought it was the original release and did a video on it claiming it was the original figure, when in actuality it was a reissue, and that video is privated now. Anyways, onto the accessories. We're gonna start with his two-tailed. This one is die-cast, and this one is more flexible.
Rattrap, it's time for your femdom session.
I'm gonna die!
Because it is flexible, don't bend it too much because, as you can see right there, since this is all paint, the paint just kind of rips off. That is something to be very wary of. Now we can't add the other end to his tail. Doesn't seem like it matters which end. Looking at the instructions might help, but we'll talk about that later. The figure doesn't come with any. Also looks like some of the paint has scraped off from putting this on. The paint on this really worries me. Put this piece on, then this, and there is his sword tail. It looks fantastic. You also look fantastic. Please subscribe, by the way. The paint job on this end of the tail is done really well. Not for the one that is fully erect. This one is metal. You could poke someone's eye out with this. We'll just attach this piece on. And yeah, you really could stab someone in the eye with this. Not that I would ever do such a thing. I don't have anger issues, I swear. You also get his blaster, which is done really, really well. And lastly, you do get these flame effect pieces for his beast mode. Now let's take the accessories. They do peg in like that, and they can be done on either side. He looks fantastic with it, although the connection for all of these kind of sucks. Let's take his other flexible sword tail, and with the way this is designed, it's really only going to fit in on this hand. And as you can see, it won't fit in this hand. Now, if we do take this off, we can undo that and then attach it to the metal tail. Now, this will only fit in his right hand and not his left hand. You could probably just have him like loose grip it in the other hand. That kind of works. No. You could also do this if you wanted to, have an erect side and then a flaccid side. Now let's get to the figure's articulation. The head can spin a full 360 up and down, and if you untap this, he can look just slightly higher. The mouth does open and close. These shoulder pads have some movement to them. You can bring these arms out. As you can see, that one is loose to this one. You can bring this arm out. You can get a rotation, not a full 360 because these parts are blocking the way. Bicep rotation, elbow bend, hand rotation, a hinge joint on the hand, and the fingers can open and close. You get a waist rotation, a nice ab crunch. Legs can move out to the side. You can bring them forward, and back movement is going to be limited because of the backpack. Pretty good knee bend, leg rotation, no foot rotation, but the foot can move forward and back, and you do get a pivot. Now let's do a comparison with the 10th anniversary reissue. If we take a look at the head sculpt, we can see some of the similarities between the two. The chest area on this one definitely seems a bit more slimmer and longer, and this one has those designs on the crotch piece where this one does not. We can see they both do have that similar texture that's on the chest and on the arms. This has come off. Do not do that while I'm in the middle of a video. Further look down the legs, they do appear to be very similar, and same with the feet. Now if we turn the figure to the back, yes, this one is missing a piece. We don't need to talk about that. We will notice that this entire back section is in the accurate position.
The wheels should be facing up instead of down.
Now the robot mode on this is fantastic. Now let's transform him into his beast mode.
But remember what I said earlier, this figure has no instructions. Instead, you get a QR code that leads you to a video.
And the video of this is really good. Mangmotion videos are incredibly well done.
And honestly, I find video instructions easier to follow than paper instructions.
I still wish I had paper instructions though.
Now when it comes to the transformation, this figure kind of falls apart. Literally, some pieces are just falling off. This arm is very loose and tends to pop out. And then occasionally when moving these feet, they might sometimes pop out. I think I have it into where it shouldn't pop out anymore though, but I did have that issue when I first transformed the figure. And then these two blue bits also tend to pop out from time to time. The transformation is also a little bit complex, but first we're going to start by moving these rat heads up, move down to the feet. We're going to bring these back heels up and then bring these forward feet up. Same on the other side. Pull these wheels all the way out. We're going to untab the figure from here, flip up this back section, come back here and make sure this section is pulled out. We're going to take the rat head and pull it out, bring up this leg and then rotate the head to where it's on this side. Now we can take this upper body, rotate it around. We're going to move that head back. We're going to take the faux rat head pieces, bring them together and tab them in place. Make sure that head is in there. Let's go ahead and move these arms like so for now. We're going to take these sections and rotate them around. Come over here and do the same thing.
Rotate the arms in this way, bring it down and push it in all the way.
And make sure this side is facing like this.
We're going to do the same thing on this side.
This does tend to fold back in, so bring that back out.
Now we can correctly position his arms like so. Now come to the front of the figure, move that head out of the way, unfold this, bring the piece up over here. This is a bit tricky to do, but we want to take both of these pieces out now. Let's position this in there and try to get this rat head out. Turn the figure over, and this is where things are going to get kind of complicated.
We're going to take the feet, and you see that slot? It's going to tab into these sections over here.
So tab that in, and same with the other leg. I'm going to go ahead and readjust everything here real quick. Have it to where it's like this now.
Now we're going to take these pieces, and we're going to flip them out, and these do tend to fall off from time to time, so be careful of that. Now we're going to flip this over and get this in there.
Let's push this back in so we can actually do that. This tabs into there.
And then now, that untabbed. Now this part is kind of annoying to do.
These pieces need to go over and under each other. Now tab in both these pieces on the side.
And I will say that's probably the most complicated part of the transformation because of all the fiddling you have to do and messing around to get everything to fit into place properly. Now we're going to come to the front feet and just bring them out like so. Then with this one, come around and bring it out. Nope, you weren't supposed to do that.
We're gonna come to the wheels, take the feet out, and try to slide it, and it does get stuck sometimes, and then it might actually pop out. So be careful when sliding it out. Bring that in and do the same on the other side. Take the tail, take this part off, do the insertion.
Here is the beast mode for Rattrap, and he looks phenomenal. Once again, we will notice that the color scheme is different. I do believe there was an official release with a similar color scheme, but this one still looks pretty good. He is very much a life rodent size. Not a whole lot of detail on him, but everything does look really good. I love the shiny blues and the tiny bits of green he has. It is still kind of odd how he has two rat heads and how the other one is in here, and how you still kind of have to combine that rat head for part of the transformation, even though it doesn't show up in the final transformation. But the rest of it does look pretty good. You can open up his mouth, revealing his awesome teeth and a very red tongue inside, and the tongue can move. The joint is very tight though. In terms of articulation, the head can move up and down. You can rotate it. The mouth can move. The rat ears can move. These legs can move. This can bend. This part of the foot can move. The tail, that wasn't supposed to come out. Get that back in there. The back feet can also move as well, and you can move this. Now, one thing I really love about this figure is how at the bottom, all those beast mode bits are covered up by the section.
Sometimes, however, these pieces might not be fully tabbed into place.
And like the lazy person I am, I kind of just leave it like that. You're mostly going to see this figure from the top or the front and not from the underneath. So I just don't bother with those. Damn it. Now compared to the reissue of Rattrap, this one is obviously going to be so much bigger. This tail fell off, that's alright. It's getting in the way. The designs are very much identical, and I really like that. Yeah, not much else to say there. Anyways, to get them into that rolling mode, what you want to do is rotate the feet, get that going like that. Come over here and do the same with this. We're going to pull this wheel out. This needs to come up like that. Tab into there.
Slide the foot over and try to bring it in, and God damn it. Okay, it needs to be in like that. Now we can bring this back out, peg it into place. Do the same with the other side. Let's bring this out and then we can bring the foot in, get it to peg into place. This came out, god damn it.
We're gonna take these and bring them out. We can attach these effect pieces. They go in with this bigger part at the bottom. And here is his little rolly mode.
And this mode also looks pretty good. I don't really have much else to say about it. Also, I've never seen Beast Wars.